Okay, I'm recording this video for those students who were not aware of the online meetings yesterday or missed the online meetings. Just a couple things to let you guys know about is that I will be conducting weekly online meetings as a check-in. And these meetings, you are required to come to one of them. They will be posted here on the stream for Google Classroom. Just like they were here, I will put the announcement. I will let you know at least 24 hours ahead of time. And so you can make plans. I will try to do it 2 days, but it may not always work out that way, but you will get at least one day's notice. These meetings are not very long. You will notice that if you've talked to any of your classmates, they lasted maybe 5-10 minutes, depending on how many questions people asked and clarification. The first meeting that I had was to kind of go over the project and what was expected, and there's some very specific instructions that you will need to follow. Keep in mind that even though we're not in class, we are still conducting classes online. Grades still count. They are still a part of the process. They will be used as a final determining factor in credit for the classes. And so you want to make sure that you at least make the effort to be a part of that. One thing about this class is that we were about 90% online as it was. And so you're very comfortable with using Google Classroom. Communication with me, the major thing that has changed is you don't have me in front of you in the classroom, but I am at my computer every Monday through Friday from about 8 a.m. until 3:30 p.m. And I check my email periodically throughout the evenings, and so I am very accessible. Students that have taken advantage of that can tell you if I need Miss Ogle, she's there. She can get in contact with me. I've told a lot of students that if email and verbal communicate or written communication is more difficult to understand, we will make arrangements for online communication using video, Google Hangouts. That makes it very easy. A lot of students felt a lot more comfortable about this assignment after talking on those videos. And so I'm not requiring it every day. I'm only requiring about once a week. This first one was to go over the information. The following ones will be to kind of talk about what we have found out, kind of help each other out, share some information, that kind of thing. And so it is your responsibility to check Google Classroom every few days, every so often, and figure out number one, what am I supposed to be working on? And number two, what important announcements has Miss Ogle posted up? I do post announcements on this stream page. Okay. If you scroll down about the third announcement down, this talks about the project choices. Almost everybody, I'd have some people doing choice number two, but most people have chosen choice number one, which is great. Um, I just want you to be aware of the due date of April 8th. Okay. And I will be checking in. And so let me kind of go over the project. I'm going to go over project number one. And then if you have a question on project number two, the assignment is still the same. It's just a different layouts and different questions. And so, for example, when you are on Google Classroom and you go to classwork, you will see all of my students in American in first period have decided to do this project, at least all of the ones that I have heard from. And so I've got it pulled up there. You have the instructions. Now, one of the hardest things that students don't do is they don't read the instructions. They skim over it, they try to figure it out, they don't read the instructions. And when I'm in the classroom with you, that could be worked around a little bit. But now it's vital. You don't have a choice. You have to read all of the steps. And if you have a specific question about, okay, I'm not sure what you mean by step number one, or what do you mean in step number two, then I can address those questions. But I am not going to just answer an email that says, what do I do on the project? Because you are responsible for reading that information and then asking a specific question from there. And so to get started, first of all, any type of project, you need to know what am I leaning towards. The focus question is also the learning target for this particular project. And you will be able to tell how do sudden and abrupt changes in society, like a pandemic, change the social, political, and economic climate of a nation? And do those changes impact the future of that nation and how? And so that's not what you're answering right now. Nobody should turn in anything to me right now that answers that question because you don't know that answer yet. What you have to do, that is what your final project is about. Well, if you choose to do a PowerPoint or you choose to do Google, a Adobe, some kind of Adobe presentation or video or whatever you decide to do, that is what the final product is going to be about. But you can't do that right now. I will not accept any projects. I will send them back to you. They will not be graded. And so just know, don't start working on that right now. What you are working on is you are working on the steps. If you complete all of these 6 steps, this question is going to be very easy to put together. And so in order to do that, you have attached to this assignment a research log. And so when you open that research log, it looks like this, okay? And this right here is what I'm going to be checking about 2 times a week. I'm going to pull it up for you. I'm going to look at it. If you've went a whole week and you haven't added anything new to this research log, you're going to hear from me, and that's going to come off of your participation. That's going to come off your grade for this project. And so you want to make sure that you are logging in and doing work on this project. Now, with that being said, I have done away with daily assignments. I believe that you have a lot of work in all of your other classes, and there's no test. They've done away with state testing this year. And so it's not that the content isn't important, but you know the content. You know a little bit about World War I and World War II, and you've heard about Vietnam and Korea. What I'm going to focus on are the skills that you need as a citizen of the United States or as a person ready to go into the 12th grade or to go into a college class. And one of the biggest skills you need to be able to do is to be able to conduct research, document your research, and then use that research to create a product. And so that is all we're going to focus on is your research skills, okay? And so on your research log, the days you go in, let's say that today you're going to go in and you're going to work on this assignment. And so in the first column, you would type in the date, and my computer is being slow and it's not wanting to type in with me. So you would put today's date or the date that you're working in the first box. Okay. The second column, what goes in the second column is, let's say that today you are going to work on step number 1. You're going to create a list of changes that occurred due to the recent pandemic and identify them as social, political, or economic. So you would copy and paste this right here into this section of your research log. That tells me when I look in there and I say, okay, this is what they're working on today. This is the information that they're gathering. Now, notes, this column right here, you have 2 options. Number 1, you can type your notes for whatever this question is directly into here. No problem. Some people answered this question, created their list on a Google Doc. Simply share your Google Doc link here. Now, remember, you cannot just go up here and copy and paste this link. It will not allow you to open. You have to click the share button and you have to copy the link from here. You have to get the shareable link from here. You cannot copy and paste it from up here. Okay, so do not copy and paste it from the top. That just shows the notes. This is what I learned about this. This is how I completed the assignment. This is the answers to those questions. You are to copy and paste any websites that you use here. That way I know where you got your information. If you need help, I know where you got it from and can help you from there. This column is probably the most important column. This column is where if you have questions about your research or you don't understand vocabulary, in this you're going to be watching videos that the president and the governor and the CDC and the Health and Human Services, that's going to be a part of it. You're going to want to view some of those videos. And if you don't understand what they're talking about, or you look at an executive order that the governor of North Carolina passes down, because that is something that goes with what you're going with, and you're like, I don't really understand what he's saying here, let me know that. That way I know specifically what you need help with. Now, I will check this 2 to 3 times a week. I will leave you feedback. Okay. It is important for you to check that feedback. If you don't check that feedback and then you send me an email saying, oh, I don't understand what I'm doing, my first comment is going to be go look at your feedback. Once you have done all that, and once you get to the point where you're ready to start on your project, I will let you know. When I see that everything on your research log is everything you need to answer that question, I will send you an email and say, so-and-so, you are ready to start on your final project. Go ahead and begin. And that's when you'll get that information from me. Some of you may get it sooner than others, but that's okay. Remember, the due date is April 8th. Okay. I hope this helps go through the major points in case you missed our conversation. Please stay on Google Classroom to check for further information.